Good morning, parents and students. My name is Eric, and I'm the Deputy Director of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. So, on behalf of the school and my colleagues, we'd like to thank you for joining us this morning and a warm welcome to this segment of the guide to the early admission exercise from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, or HSS as we are fondly called. Now, this is an important milestone and phase of life. So I'm very glad that you have taken time to be with us this morning. And we hope that you'll find the sharing helpful in making an informed choice on the right course for you. Now, in the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, we offer three diplomas in psychology, in gerontology, and early childhood. Now, the latter, early childhood, is offered jointly with the National Institute of Early Childhood Development, or NIEC. Now, it's a national institute to train preschool teachers. You will quickly also realize that the courses have one thing in common. Yes, that's right, it's people, the human element that runs through all three courses, young or old, from the young to the very senior years. So you have a heart and passion to understand people, young or old, and a caring spirit and soul for people. Then perhaps these courses are the ones for you. Over the years, our school, the short name HSS, has come to represent three attributes: heart, spirit, and soul, which aptly reflects the ethos of the school. Now, this morning, I have with me four of my lovely colleagues who will be sharing more details on their respective courses. Let me first introduce them to you. First, we have Miss Fiona, the course chair for the Diploma in Psychology Studies.
Hi,
Next,
everybody.
next we have Miss Emily, the course chair for the Diploma in Social Sciences in Gerontology.
Morning.
And finally, I have my colleagues from NIEC TP, Miss Dorcas, the campus head, and Miss Jeannie, the course chair for the Diploma in Early Childhood and Development. Now, before I hand over the time to my lovely colleagues, I just want to remind you that you can post your questions in the pigeonhole link below the screen, and we'll answer them during the Q&A segment after the sharing. So let me hand the time over now to our first speaker, Miss Fiona, course chair for the Diploma in Psychology Studies. I'll see you back here again during the Q&A segment. So over to you, Fiona.
Thank you, Eric, and a warm welcome to everyone attending TP's Guide to EAE again for the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Today, I'll be sharing a little bit more about the Diploma in Psychology Studies. Psychology Studies, right, is a 3-year diploma course where our students learn about human behavior, interaction, and cognition. So this means that students will learn about diverse concepts such as personality, perception, formation, thinking, motivation, and development. We need to stress that although our students study psychological concepts and theories, this course is really constructed in such a way as to provide our students with skill sets that are relevant to the market. More importantly, it provides students with exposure to industry-related projects, meaning that they get to experience firsthand what it's like to conduct projects in the working world. So, did you know that increasingly people are turning to psychologists not just for mental health, but also to boost their performance in sports or work? Traditionally, people would associate mental health with psychology, but in fact, there is a wide variety of applications in psychology. It is indeed a very diverse field, and we are seeing that a lot more applications of psychology can be made to other fields other than mental health, including policy making, in terms of how to encourage health behaviors as well. So why choose us? The Diploma in Psychology Studies places a strong emphasis on equipping students with relevant skills and knowledge in the areas of social service and special needs education. To better meet the needs of the industries where there will be a strong demand for our diploma graduates. There is also a strong emphasis on research methods in our diploma, and we have highly qualified lecturers with masters and PhDs who will guide you through the entire duration of your education with us. So I'll move on to share a bit more about our course structure. So throughout the 3-year program, students will need to enroll in core modules as shown in the left-hand column of this course structure. These core modules aim to equip students with the theoretical knowledge in the areas of psychology, research, social services, as well as special needs education. Students will have the opportunity to enroll in elective subjects in Year 2 and Year 3. So elective modules can be chosen from either the social services or the special needs education classes, as shown on the right-hand side of the brochure. You can also find out more about our course structure if you scan the QR code at the top left-hand corner of this slide. Some of the course highlights for the Diploma in Psychology Studies include us being able to lay a firm foundation in essential disciplines within psychology. We focus quite a bit on being able to allow students to build this firm foundation within all the essential disciplines. We also develop graduates with relevant knowledge, skills, and attributes to take up relevant jobs in key industry sectors in the social service and special needs education sector. Lastly, we provide a choice of specialization with electives such as abnormal psychology, assessment and interventions in special needs education, and health psychology in the 3rd year of the student's study. Moving on, we provide students with research opportunities and opportunities to engage in real-world projects like the examples that we show here. Students get to have multiple different opportunities to engage in real-world projects. And moving on, also being able to be involved in industry-relevant research, such as competitions, conferences, research collaborations, as well as industry partnership across the years that they are with us in the diploma. And most of you would be also very interested in the student internship program. And these are some examples of our key partners in our SIP program, right? They come from, our partners range from organizations such as Singapore Children's Society in the social services sector, ministries and statutory boards, education and special needs sector, research, business or HR related organizations, as well as healthcare and clinical services. For career opportunities in the field, we see that many of our graduates upon further studies could go into human and social services, as well as education services. Quite a number of our graduates would also be interested in holding a research position in the field. I want to share a little bit more about some of the jobs that are held by our graduates in each of this sector. So in the human and social services sector, we do have diploma graduates going out to take on the role of para-counseling, program executive in a social service organization, social work assistant, school health executive, youth worker, or care staff in this sector. In the educational services sector, we do see our graduates hold jobs in student support, psychology assistant, learning support associate, and so on and so forth, right? And as well as other career opportunities such as research assistants. I hope I gave you a little bit of insight into what the diploma is about. If you want to find out more, please do proceed to tp.edu.sg/T48 to find out more about the Diploma in Psychology Studies. If you would like to, please also follow our psychology interest group at Instagram at TPSIG. That's all for me for now. And I would like to introduce my colleague from the Diploma in Social Services and Gerontology, Ms. Emily Wong, who will bring you through the information on their diploma. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Diploma in Social Sciences and Gerontology. I'm Emily. Thank you for the slides. So the Diploma in Social Sciences and Gerontology is also known as GEM. Some may mistake us for a nursing course, but actually gerontology means the multidisciplinary study of the aging process. It goes beyond the physical aspects of aging and includes social, cultural, emotional, and spiritual aspects as well. And on the right, you can see our lovely GEM alumni in their orange t-shirt and seniors who took part in some of our programs in the past. So why study aging? I think we all know by now that the world is aging, including Singapore. In fact, Singapore will attain super aged status by 2026. Although aging is often seen in a negative light, but an aging society actually spells great potential for economic growth. Singapore is ranked first in Asia Pacific in terms of its silver industry market potential. So, what is silver industry? It refers to an economy that's formed by growing demand for products and services that help older adults live quality lives. These products may range from age friendly housing, insurance, tech devices, to holistic long term care. And increasingly, consumers such as older adults and their families are more and more willing to spend money on these products and services. Globally, we see a similar picture. A rapidly aging world is boosting the global silver economy, generating millions of new jobs to meet the demand for these products and services. And Singapore is no exception. So the aging population today is faced with increasingly complex long-term care needs. Therefore, there is a rising demand for more integrated services to allow seniors to age in place, meaning to grow old in their own homes and communities instead of in hospitals and nursing homes. This has translated into a higher demand for manpower in the healthcare, community care, and social services sectors. And this demand has undoubtedly been accelerated by the COVID pandemic as the healthcare system comes under great strains and families' livelihoods are affected, which consequently affects their ability to provide care to their loved ones. Such far-ranging consequences of the pandemic naturally creates more health and social challenges that will require a wide network of professional helpers to address. And we see this demand for manpower reflected by the significant number of jobs and skills training opportunities that the Singapore government has created since last year. Many of these opportunities are targeted at support care roles, such as program coordinators, therapy assistants, and patient service associates. And these are roles that we find our students in as well. So how can you tap on this rising demand and contribute to a better quality of life for older adults? So the GEM course prepares you with skills to implement healthy aging programs and provide case management services to older adults with complex needs. This helps them to age in place. Because you will also gain a deep understanding of the aging experience in the curriculum, you will also have the advantage of knowing how to design learning activities that suit the needs of older learners, helping them to embrace lifelong learning. Lastly, every GEM student and graduate is an advocate for older adults through your work with community partners and even your involvement in research and policy design. So studying aging will bring you to the intersection of these three important domains: personal satisfaction, professional growth, and job demand. So not only is aging a sunrise industry with many job opportunities, you can also gain personal satisfaction from being able to better support your loved ones and the opportunity to build a meaningful career around giving back to the society. You can also look forward to professional longevity in this field as the demand for manpower in the aging sector will only continue to increase. And with continued government investments, there will also be more structured opportunities for upgrading and mentorship that will benefit your professional growth. So why join GEM? We remain the only diploma that specializes in healthy aging. Our curriculum is also multidisciplinary with elements of psychology, sociology, and marketing embedded within to reflect the multidimensional experience of aging. You can look forward to subjects being delivered by lecturers who come from different fields, such as psychology, social work, business and marketing, nursing, and occupational therapy. A diverse curriculum like this does not restrict you to working with older adults only. Many of our graduates are in the social services, serving families and other vulnerable groups. Here's a snapshot of our 3-year curriculum. In red boxes are the practical subjects that allow you to gain hands-on experience working with older adults. For example, in program planning in year 2, students work with local social service agencies to plan and implement activities for older adults. We have managed to continue these practical sessions despite COVID by conducting these activities virtually with the help of the partnering organization. So learning truly does not stop. The curriculum also underwent a restructure and is now organized according to these 3 domains that you see here. You can look forward to taking subjects from each of these domains. Out of classroom learning is very important in our curriculum. Thus, we try to expose students to overseas internships and study trips as much as possible. Pre-COVID, we offered internships in Chiang Mai and Hong Kong. In Chiang Mai, students lived and worked at a long-stay resort, planning activities for the international residents and supported the care staff and therapists in their daily duties. While overseas travel is not permissible now, we are looking into virtual exchanges to continue expanding our students' horizons. Aging, if I haven't quite emphasized enough, is indeed a powerful job creating machine. And these are the job roles that our graduates have secured upon graduation. They are working in community care organizations, social service agencies, and restructured hospitals. Some have also gone into the private sector, working as marketing executives. The key is that understanding of aging will serve you well wherever you go, as chances are your clients and your customers are likely to be older adults aged 50 and above. These are some of our long-term internship partners and also organizations that our graduates are working at. On the left is a GEM alumni who is currently working as a senior social work assistant at Tan Tock Seng Hospital and also studying part-time for a degree in social work at SUSS. And of course, we understand that many of you will aspire to further your studies upon graduation. You can expect to have some credit exemptions at these local and overseas universities. And on the right is another recent GEM graduate who is also studying for a degree in social work at NUS. And she's got some credit exemptions because of the subjects that she's taken in the GEM curriculum. So we are seeing more and more students interested in a career in the social services. We have been taking in a number of ITE students through EAE in recent years. If you apply and you're selected, you can look forward to being supported by a group of seniors who are currently in the course. And if you're taking O-levels this year, here's the minimum entry requirement. All right. And I think later on we'll give you more information about an EAE workshop that's happening next Monday online that can give you more information about the selection process. So that brings me to the end of my sharing. Thank you very much, and I certainly hope to see you joining us. Do follow us on Facebook and Instagram for latest happenings in the course. All right, I'll now pass the time to Dorcas, the head of NIEC, for her sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Good morning, parents and students. My name is Dorcas, and I'm the campus head for NIEC TP Campus. The 3-year Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education is actually practice-oriented with practicum and internship at the early childhood workplace. The professional diploma is recognized by the Early Childhood Development Agency for preschool teacher registration. And it also has the same standing as that of the polytechnics for university admission. Within TP, We have our very own dedicated exploratory labs, such as the art studios, infant and toddler room, and the music and movement room, etc. And it's a pity we cannot show you these rooms personally. Nevertheless, I hope that the next session of sharing provided by my course chair, Ms. Ginny, will be helpful to provide you with more information about the course. Once again, thank you for taking time out to attend this webinar on TP's EAE guide, TP's Guide to EAE. Over to you, Ginny.
Thank you, Dorcas. A very good morning once again to everyone. Welcome to TP's Guide to EAE, and I'm Ms. Ginny Ng, the course chair of the Diploma. And we'll be sharing more about NIEC and the Diploma. So what does it take to work with young children? It starts with a big heart to shape little minds. So before I go into the course details, let us watch a short video clip.
Huh? What? A copycat? A copywriter copies a person's writing. Do you copy? That's bad. You must think of your own idea. Treasure does nothing. The treasurer hides treasures in secret places. Inside the treasure have gold. Monies. Golden monies. Take care of everything, everywhere, and capture all the bad guy. The sign will say don't run. If they run, then the security guard will say, hey, what are you doing? Don't rush. A teacher teaches students Chinese and mathematics, history, art, English, racing. If we don't have teachers, we don't know how to do anything. Teachers does a lot of things. My teacher helped me with my cuts. She put a bandage. It was very painful. Now it's gone. I also need to listen what my teacher says so I can be clever. Teachers have teachers. Teachers go to school so they can teach their children how to be nice to one another.
So I hope this short video clip brings a smile to you on the Saturday morning, and it is indeed interesting, isn't it, to hear the thoughts of young children and what they think of the teacher. So if you feel that the early years are very important in gaining a head start in life, and you think you would like to shape little minds and be part of their education journey, why not start your EC journey at National Institute of Early Childhood Development, in short, NIEC. NIEC is a national training institute set up by MOE to train teachers for the early childhood sector. So the aim is to provide quality training and professional development for early childhood educators at every stage of their career. And that means after you graduate and become a preschool teacher, you can still continue your learning journey by taking courses at NIEC. The Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education, in short ECDE, ECDE, trains you to be a preschool teacher, and you can be registered with the Early Childhood Development Agency, in short ECDA, as a preschool teacher upon graduation. So the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education, ECDE, is available at both TP and NIAN campus. So we train teachers, or we train students to have a foundation in early childhood development and education in infants and young children, and you get to experience cross-campus learning electives at your final year and get the opportunity to apply theory to practice via the yearly practicums and a 6 months internship in your final year. So at NIEC TP, we offer final year students the visual arts track to students who are interested in arts education and to develop a niche skill set in book illustration, digital media, and 2D and 3D arts for young children. So what's being an NIEC student like? Being an NIEC student, you enjoy a dual identity
as a student of NIEC and TP and will enjoy quality foundational training, practice-oriented learning throughout practicums and internship, and even hands-on activities in the infant and toddler room. Being part of the NIEC family, cross-campus learning such as seminar and electives across both TP and Ngee Ann campus, student support services offered at TP, and also a vibrant campus life where you can participate in many CCA of your choice. Have you heard about the EGDA Training Award, which covers your tuition fees? So all successful EAE applicants will be offered the EGDA Training Award. And this award is given by EGDA, and course fees will be fully sponsored. You will get grants for learning at $800 monthly study allowance, and you get also a chance to network with the different early childhood educators at conferences and forums. So you will need to fulfill a full year's bond in an EGDA licensed preschool after you graduate for every year of support received. What are the opportunities then when you graduate from the diploma? You are encouraged to head out to work to join the early childhood sector, as we would have prepared you to be workforce ready. So with further education and training, there are ample opportunities to work in the child support and family services, special needs education, etc. Or you can choose to further your studies in early childhood education upon graduation, and you can do that at SUSS, where you would receive advanced standing or credit exemptions. Have you ever wondered then, what's life like as a preschool teacher? So let's hear from a TP graduate, Shafika, who is currently working as a preschool teacher now. So are you keen to join the NIEC family? Well, if you are, you can try to take up the Diploma in Early Childhood Development via EAE. And you can find out more about NIEC via the ACE Your EAE Live Talk to find out more, which is happening at 12 p.m. later. So here is a QR code, and do sign up via this QR code. So let's hear a little bit more from a male student who asked his friends about sharing how they work with young children without even saying, I work with young children. So let's hear from our male student.
Tell me you love working with children without telling me you love working with children.
I want to nurture young minds. They're the next generation.
A child's curiosity for the world around them really inspires me.
Growing up, I've always wanted to be a preschool teacher.
If you think you have what it takes to teach our little ones, apply at NIEC's early childhood courses through the early admission exercise.
Sign up for our live talks to find out how you can ace your EAE applications. Or you can read all about our friends' EAE experiences at the Early Childhood EAE story.
It takes a big heart to shape little minds.
See you at NIEC!
And there you go. So we have a live talk that's happening at 12 p.m. today. And we will also have a TPHSS EAE talk as well this coming Monday. So there'll be more details being shared with all of you. So you can sign up for that on how to ace your EAE selection via this QR code, or you can attend the TP session on Monday. So you can also visit our microsite, NIEC microsite, for all you need to know about applying via EAE. You get to read about exclusive tips and stories from our students in preparing for your portfolio and interview. And you can complete the online quiz there, right, to get an e-certificate given by NIEC. All right. So follow us at NIEC Singapore to read more about the teaching tips and inspiring stories. So the NIEC Singapore, you can do that on Instagram, as well as you can follow TP ECDE Instagram as well to find out what's happening here on NIEC TP campus. So being the children teacher is not only a privileged profession, you also play a key role in imparting life skills and values. Do let me share with you an inspiring story. I remember a K2 boy in my class who screams at the top of his voice each time he needed attention or needed something. It was very disruptive, and his classmates didn't like playing with him at all because they get, being screamed at. So I tried many ways to teach him to ask for things nicely, but to no avail. And I decided that in order to help him, I needed to find out the root of his issues. So why was he screaming all the time? So I went to visit him at home and had a long chat with his parents. And apparently, his parents gave him everything he needed whenever he started screaming, or even before he started screaming. So there was no opportunities for him to learn to express his needs in a socially appropriate manner. His parents then didn't think much of his screaming, as he was the only child at home. I then worked with his parents and his classmates as well to help him learn to express his needs nicely and in a more socially appropriate manner. And I found a storybook whose character is exactly the way he is, who screams and so on. So I gave him that book. He really took that book home, and each day he treated that book as a form of a treasure. And over time, he saw the positive effects, when he asked for a toy or asked for a crayon, etc., instead of screaming, right? So his friends gave him very good feedback, will allow him to play with them and so on. So in 6 months, he no longer screams in class, no longer displays disruptive behavior, and even at home, he has learned to ask his parents for food or to watch TV, etc. This really demonstrates the importance of homeschool partnership, and for the teacher to really have a curious and seeking mind to find out more about the child's issue rather than just focusing on the behavior such as screaming, and then start giving him all the negative consequences like standing or not being able to play and so on. So instead of focusing on the same behavior, perhaps it's great, or rather it is useful to help to find out more about the child's issues at home and find out the root of these problems. So if you're inspired to join this sector, if you like to work with children and finally feel the sense of satisfaction when he finally overcomes his difficulties, do join us at NIEC TP, right? And join us in the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education. So before we end, let's hear from the Director of NIEC, Mrs. Look.
Hello everyone, Mrs. Look here. You are at an important educational milestone, thinking about what to do post-secondary, thinking of courses and possible career options. Now, if you are warm and caring, if you love being around young children, and if you're curious about how they develop, and if you want to get into a profession that enables you to support their learning and growth, then the EC course is for you. You'll be taught by our lecturers who are EC practitioners and leaders. You'll be well prepared for the EC workplace through our practice practice-oriented courses. You will pick up values, skills, and knowledge to be great preschool teachers. Our government strongly supports the work of the early childhood sector. The sector is booming. There are good job prospects and ample upgrading opportunities. So happy exploring and all the best for your future.
Okay, so if you think you have the heart-shaped little minds, apply to T68 via EAE. And we hope to see you at NIEC TP campus. If you have any questions, do send your questions through Pigeonhole, and you can see the link right below. And I'll now hand over the time to HSS Deputy Director Eric Koh for the following Q&A segment. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. So we have now come to our Q&A segment. Allow me to invite back all my colleagues from this Q&A. So I hope that you have enjoyed the sharing from the various courses, and hope that it has been helpful and useful for you. And at this juncture, you may have some burning questions. Right? So we'll try to answer as many of the questions as we can during the allocated time. However, we apologize that if we are unable to answer all the questions because of the time, we seek your understanding to post your questions in the TP EAE portal under virtual course counseling, right? So that we'll answer them and get back to you as quickly as we can. So without further ado, let me read out our first question. And question is, can I immediately work as a social worker after completing GEM course, that is a gerontology course, what is the basic pay range in this industry? All right, invite Ms. Emily perhaps to shed some light on this question. Emily, please.
Thanks, Eric. So with this question, you do need a degree to practice as a social worker in Singapore. So that's why you will see that the starting out role that I mentioned in my slides earlier is a social work assistant. So that's the role that you can look forward to securing after finishing the GEM course. As for the basic pay range, it depends on whether you are working in the community sector or the hospitals, the healthcare sector, because it might pay a little bit better in the hospitals, the healthcare sector in general. So I would say a pay range may be from maybe 1,008 to 2,200 a month as a social work assistant. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, let's have a look at our next question.
Sorry, can I just add? I forgot.
Okay.
You start off as a social assistant, but as you see the examples given earlier, many of them, once they've found a company to work with as a social assistant, they get sponsorship to further their studies, and they go on to do a degree in social work. It's very helpful if you have already started working while taking your part-time degree in social work, because it helps you to clock hours as well that actually count towards getting that degree in social work. So many times we see that this happens concurrently. They find a job in the social services sector, and then they get sponsorship to do their degree in social work. Yeah, so sorry.
Thank you, Emily. Yes. Let's have the next question, please. All right. Okay. It's also related to gerontology. What skill set and qualities are you looking when selecting students for a diploma in gerontology? Yeah, good question. Emily, please.
Okay. I think in general at HSS, what we look out for are students with the passion to work with people, students with people-oriented personalities. You don't have to be extroverts, but you must be, willing to interact and communicate with people from all walks of life. And in gerontology specifically, I think we're not looking for students who are passionate about serving elderly only. All right, I think as long as you have the interest to do something for the community, and you are able to think on your feet, because when you're in the helping profession and working on the ground, you need to be quite responsive and adaptable. All right. So for some of you who might be thinking, I'm not sure if I want to tie myself down to a career with older people only, I would say gerontology does not restrict you to working with older people only. In fact, when you study gerontology, you're also learning about the dynamics between the older person and their family and the society, which really puts you in a good position to work with people from all sorts of backgrounds. So, yep, flexibility, adaptability, and generally a passion for people and interactions. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Emily. Yeah, I just want to add as well that I mentioned earlier that actually there's a common thing that runs through all three diplomas, which is the people element, the human element. So I think one of the important criteria is really you must be interested in people. You must have a passion to reach out to people. Then perhaps these three diplomas uh, could be a choice. All right. So let's move on to the next question. Our next question is for early childhood. What bad will bad school results affect the shortlist of EAE for early childhood? Example: pass only 3 subjects during CA. Perhaps Jeannie, you want to take on this one? Jeannie? Yeah.
Yes, hello, hi. Okay, so results are not essentially the most important, especially your CA result. What's more important is your O-level results at the end of the day, that you should not go beyond 26 points if you are selected at the EAE interview. So the shortlist, I must say in summary that school results are not a factor in deciding who we shortlist for EAE interviews for the early childhood diploma.
Thank you, Jeannie. Maybe allow me to just add also for EAE exercise, we look, it's a non-discretionary exercise. So we look for other qualities, all right? Qualities like your passion, your leadership, and all. And at the end, when your O-level results are out, like what Jeannie has mentioned, you must meet the minimum entry requirements, all right? Just a minimum, which is not your aggregate must not be more than 26, and of course there are certain other minimum requirements for that specific course, right? So I hope it clears your doubts. All right, let's have our next question, please. Next question is: if I go about with the psychology course at TP, will I be able to go for university using the same field of psychology? Can I pursue the career of being a psychologist? Uh, okay, maybe I'll ask Fiona. You want to take this question? Yes, Fiona, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I think this is something that a lot of people are interested in.
Yeah.
As we all know that being a psychologist requires us to undergo further education. If you do the psychology course at TP, you will be able to apply for universities specializing in psychology as well. Having said that, we also have many students who might go into different fields in university. So it really depends on whether or not it continues to be an interest area for you. So if it's not an interest area, psychology is still a very good foundation skill to have that will be helpful in other diploma or other university courses that you are interested in. Yeah, definitely if you go through further education, you will be able to pursue your career of being a psychologist. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. Yeah, I think similarly to social worker and also psychologist, I think you need to further your education, at least a first degree, before you can be qualified to be a psychologist or a social worker. All right. So the diploma is the first step in that career path. Okay. The next question is, what can I expect for aptitude test for psychology? Okay, Fiona, this is a question for you. Fiona,
Okay,
please.
thank you very much for the question. In terms of aptitude test, I think we are going to have a EAE workshop on Monday, so it's good for you to be able to attend the session to find out a little bit more about what is expected in this test. But generally, we do look out for certain qualities. So we are looking out for the ability to think critically. We're looking out for leadership skills as well as passion and interest in this field. So these are some of the broad right. In terms of aptitude, really, it's more about critical thinking skills. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Fiona. Let's move on to our next question is, what if I do not have enough photos of me with children for my portfolio? What are the other ways I can do for my portfolio to show my passion in the early childhood course? Okay, Dorcas or Jeannie, you want to take this one? Yeah.
Yeah, I will take this on.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the question. So if you do not have enough photographs, to showcase that you actually work with young children, what you can do, I can suggest that you can create craft activities, or come up with busy book, any activities that you think is helpful for young children. And if you really want to show your passion in the early childhood course, you can do so in preparing some materials that you think may be helpful for young children. And this demonstrates your creativity, your understanding of what children's needs, and so on and so forth. You can create stories, and there are actually many things you could do to be part of the portfolio. Be creative. I would like to encourage you to be creative, and do not be limited by your lack of experience with young children. Right? You may not have cousins to play with, etc. So that's fine. It's okay. Right? So just be creative to think about what you can do. Right? To share with us that you really enjoy working with young children, or you think you know what young children needs, and this is what you have prepared for them. Right? So you can show us that in your portfolio as well. All right, it can be photographs of it, of the activity that you have created. Yeah. Thank you. I hope I answered your.
Yes. Thank you, Jeannie. I think the important thing is to show your passion for the area that you're interested in. All right. Like what Miss Jeannie has said. Evidence of that passion that you have. So for early childhood, not necessarily with children, but what have you done? To show your interest in this particular area. All right. Okay. Now let's go on to the next question. What percentage of graduates from gerontology diploma are accepted to local universities? Emily, you want to take this question, Emily?
Okay, I'll try. Local universities would be like, your SIT, your SUSS, NUS. A couple went to NTU, but mostly it would be SUSS, SIT, and NUS. Percentage-wise, I would say on average per cohort, maybe about 10 to 20%. All right, because it is getting more and more competitive getting into a local university, and you need a CGPA of about 3.6 and above to sort of guarantee your chances. But there may also be other numbers that we haven't been able to capture, such as those students who graduate and start working first, and then they go on after 1 or 2 years of working experience, they go on to enroll in the degree course. So those we may not be able to, we may not have the full picture of how many of our graduates actually do that. But from what we understand, that is quite becoming a route that is quite common for our students. They would find a job first because, as I mentioned, there is job demand. There is demand for manpower in our sectors. So often it's easier to find a job first and then later on explore what kind of further study program you want to go into.
Yeah.
All right, so just based on fresh graduates going into further studies at local universities, maybe around 10%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And I just want to add that it's good sometimes to go out and work first to in the sector so that you experience what it's like in the sector, so that you can decide then whether you want to further in the particular area or not. All right. So yeah. So take the opportunity because your diploma prepares you well for the industry. So spend some time in the sector, then and get to know the sector, and then of course you can always go on to further your studies after that, either part-time or full-time after. Right. So thank you. Let's move on to our next question. How much can my child earn after graduating for this course? Oh, it's a valid question. I'll ask maybe Jeannie or Dorcas to take this question. Right.
Okay, I'll take the question.
Thank you, Jeannie.
So this is a very good question. I think it's a very valid one where everyone would like to find out about the beginning salary range for a beginning teacher. So when a student, an active student graduate from this course, it qualifies them to be a registered preschool teacher, teaching the 18 months students or children all the way up to 6 years, and hopefully your child would have gotten a B4 in English, and if he or she has not gotten a B4 in English, he or she should continue to try to take an English acceptable alternative examinations and get that same grade to be a licensed level 2 teacher, so that you can teach from 18 months all the way up to 6 years old. So that's a beginning teacher at a preschool center, be it a childcare or a kindergarten. The salary range would be from 2004 to 2006, depending on the organizations that employ your child. So there are a difference in terms of beginning salary or remuneration and benefits for preschool teachers who are, recently graduates of the NIEC diplomas.
Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, actually, the starting salaries for poly graduates are very attractive now. Yeah, so because there's a need in the sector for poly graduates, so they're very competitive and very attractive, right? For all the diplomas. Okay, next question is the psychology course more social work based or research based? Fiona, will you take this one? Fiona, thanks.
Thank you very much for the question again. Generally, for us, we are the Diploma in Psychology Studies, so we are trying to train our students to be able to work in jobs related to psychology as compared to social work. So social work is a lot more of case management, working with individuals or families in need, whereas psychology study really is about the study of the human mind and can be very broad-based in nature. So what we do is, in this course, in this diploma, we would focus a lot more on research because this is the area that is essential in the study of psychology. So this course is definitely more research-based and not social work-based at all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Fiona. I suppose if I may add that if you are interested in social work, you might want to consider also gerontology, because it's more related to social work, but not necessarily just in aging, like what Miss Emily has mentioned, but it prepares you also for that social work sector. All right. So do find out more, right, from Emily or Miss Emily and about the course. Right. All right. Next question is: if I don't have any evidence to back up my psychology interest for my write-up, is that fine? And should I just include all my certificates that do not have any relation to psychology? Okay,
I'll
Fiona.
take this question. Yeah. So I think just to add on to the previous question, there are some of the graduates from our diploma who would go into social work because they are interested in that field, but that would also require further training in the social work field. So with regards to this question, if you do not have any evidence to back up your psychology interest, I think what we really want to know is how or where did you develop that interest from? So we're not really looking out for evidence or any other certification that justify that you have any form of training in psychology. I think we understand that at your stage in life, you might not have done very much related to psychology, but you can submit all the relevant documents that highlight leadership skills or other skills, even in terms of your talents and passions in other areas. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. So I suppose also that I mean, if you are really interested in psychology, you would read up a bit about psychology as well, right? So in the interview, perhaps you probably be asked, why you are interested in psychology, and you could tell the panel, how you come to know about psychology and why are you interested in psychology, right? Same for the other uh, diplomas as well, all right? Because this is a EAE exercise, so we want to see why are you interested in this particular course, and where your passion lies. Right. Okay, next question. Does TP Early Childhood teaches their students how to take care and teach kids with special needs too? Jeannie, you want to take this one? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so for the NIEC, TP, and MP campus, we all take or rather teach the same harmonized course modules. So in the course module, there are two modules that talked about or that teaches students about working with the exceptional child and also getting them to learn about classroom management of children with different behaviors and needs. So really, we don't focus on this particular, there is no module that focus on the particular intervention strategy for a set of special needs, etc. Right? So we don't have a specialized modules, right, that would need a certificate in special needs intervention, etc. That's upon further education and training in the sector, and then after they move on to learn more about working with children with special needs. But in the main course, Early Childhood Diploma, there is a module 2 to teach children about atypical behaviors, etc.
Thank you, Jenny. I just want to also add that you're interested in special needs. The diploma in psychology studies have specialization, well, not specialization, but what you call it, a strand in special needs in psychology as well. All right, so uh, consider that as well. If your interest is in special needs, right? Right. So okay, now next question. Next question, please. Okay, do you need to produce academic results in the EAE portfolio for gerontology? Will it help to include? Um, Emily, you want to take this first?
Hi, yes, thank you. Thank you for the question. I mean, as Eric mentioned earlier, EAE is an admissions exercise that focuses on your interests and your talents. So, in that sense, we do not focus on your results per se, but I think it will be helpful if you include it, just to give us a picture of where your strengths are, and also help us understand how have you been managing and coping with your studies. So the interview, although it's an interview to assess your suitability, it's also a conversation for us to understand whether, based on your strengths and your abilities, whether you would be a good fit with the diploma. So definitely including your results will give a fuller picture to help us understand you better. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, like I said earlier, the EAE admission exercise is a discretionary admission exercise. So we look for other qualities that you may have, like passion or leadership and all that. Of course, academic results at the end of the day, it's still you still need to meet the minimum entry requirements, right, to get into the course. So hope that helps to answer that question. So okay, our next question, please. What is percentage of slots allocated for EAE applicants? Um, well, it's about, maybe you can help me here. It's about 10, 15%. Or anyone want to answer this question? How many percent do we have? I think it differs from the courses. All right. So So usually it's around I don't know.
For gerontology,
Yeah,
we take in up to 30 to 40% through EAE.
30 to 40%. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it really depends on the enrollment numbers, but in the past years, we have taken up to 30 to 40%
Yeah.
through EAE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think
And
similar for
for
other courses as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the EAE diploma, we take in 40 to 50%, also depending on the applicants and the cohort numbers as well. So for EAE, it's about 40 to 50% by EAE applicants.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's about 30 to 40%, right? For EAE. Thank you, cost chairs. Okay, our next question, please. Okay, for Michelle, it says hi for early childhood. Okay, the English requirement grade is B4. What if I did not make the mark? Will I be accepted to this course even though I've accepted the EAE? Will TP help me to get the grade? Yeah. Jeannie, you want to take it on or?
Okay, right. Then now this question, right? First and foremost, I'd like to encourage you to go to the EGDA ECDE website, and there'll be a list of acceptable English alternative examinations that you could take if you don't get a B4, right? So will you be accepted to this course even though you accepted the EAE? Yes, if you meet the minimum requirements, say for example, you get your passes in English, math, and all the other subjects, right? But you don't get a B4 in English, you perhaps got a C5 or a C6. You can still be accepted into the diploma because you have met the minimum entry requirement. However, to be a licensed to get that level 2 certification to be able to teach preschoolers from 18 months all the way up to K2, right? You will need to have a B4 English grade. So there is an equivalent of the O level. If you don't wish to retake your O level, you can take the IELTS, which is also a alternative English language exams, right? And you can actually take that and get a score of 6.5. You would be able to get the equivalent of a B4 O level. So we encourage our students to do this during the 3 years that they are in the poly, right? So that you don't have to wait till you started working, and then after that, the employer asks you to go on to take the relevant grade so that you can be licensed as a level 2 teacher. So we encourage our students, and most of our students do that during their 3 years here, and it is on the ownership of the students, right, to do these examinations to ensure they get the relevant grade. Right, so TP will not help you get this grade. It will not organize O-level examinations for you to take, or the IELTS examinations. You would have to do it on your own, apply and do it on your own. And it's really by your own effort that you get the relevant grade if you wish to be a level 2 certified preschool teacher eventually. So if you another thing to add is that if you don't, say for example, if you don't want to continue to get that equivalent grade of a B4, can I then still teach young children? Yes, you can. After graduation, yes, you can. But you will be only allocated classes that is below 4 years old. That means you're going to teach children below the nursery classes. But why should you limit your career opportunities to only that play group or pre-nursery group and nursery children, right? You would want to try and get that relevant English grade so that you can be a certified level 2 teacher and teach the entire spectrum from 18 months all the way up to K2. So this is what we encourage all our students to do, and they do that during the 3 years here when they are studying full-time here in Poly. All right, so I believe that this is the last question. Over to you, Eric.
Thanks, Jeannie. Thank you, Michelle, for the question. Do we have one last question, or is this the last question? All right, I'm told that this is the last question. Okay, so thank you once again. All right, this brings us to the end of this morning's webinar on the guide to early admission exercise. So thank you once again for taking time to join us this morning. All right, and we hope that this webinar has been useful and informative for you. So once again, if you have any other questions to post, please post them in our TP-AE portal under virtual course counseling, and we'll attend to your questions as quickly as we can, right? And the other thing is that a reminder that we have a EAE workshop on Monday to 2 to 3 called Chat with our experts, EAE experts. So do attend and sign up and attend this workshop, and you can register this at the TP-AE micro website. All right. So before I conclude this webinar, do help us to give us your feedback, right? In the slide shown, the QR code, by scanning the QR code in this slide here in front of you. So on behalf of my team, we will wish you all the best in the choice of the course and look forward to having you in our School of Humanities and Social Sciences. So till then, stay safe, keep well. Bye-bye.